So, as always, the code for this question will be in the description, but if you want the explanation for this video, for this question, you can continue watching this. Now, see, the thing is, this question is actually really easy. As always, the most of the questions I tell you are easy, but this one actually really is easy. It's just that you have to look at the constraints of this problem and you'll understand why it's easy. But let's get to the question. I think most of you understood this thing, but what the question they gave is that take, for example, an array boy, girl, boy, and boy. And we'll take another girl. So what will happen is, in this case, this is the queue. This is the beginning of the queue and this is the ending of the queue. You'll be given this queue. The thing is, the boy will give the place to the girl. Basically, how do I say it? Will give his place to the girl and he'll go behind to his or her place. What this basically means is that when you're standing in line and you give it to someone else because you feel empathetic, you feel sad for them, and then you let them go front, right? And that's basically what's happening here, except for that, he feels sad for the girl because she's a girl, so he lets her go front and he stands in the backside as he should because girls are weak. So the thing is, in this case, what happens is this array will become this girl, boy, boy, girl, and boy. This is what will happen. Now, this will happen in t equals to 1 time, which means that for once in 1 time being like 1 time unit being passed, this is what's going to be the resulting array. Now take take 2 units of time. Okay, what's going to happen then? This will again become girl, boy, 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 because if you go from here, this is 2 time units, right? In this case, this boy was in front of this girl and this boy is in front of this girl. These 2 boys went here. Now, this boy is also in front of this girl, even though he came here. He's also a boy. So, this boy will go here now. In this case, what will happen is, there are no other boys. Boys won't give it up for boys. They'll give it up for girls. So in this case, this boy is the only one who's going to go here. So eventually, if T is big enough, every single girl is going to go into the front and every boy is going to go into the back. But that's not the case here. They have given us that T is a specific number, which could not be that big. For example, if T is 1, then this is the case. If T is 2, this is the case. So given this array, the value of n, the size of number of people here, and t value, you need to find out what will be the resulting q after this many times. This is the question. Now listen. Already shiny sweat. In the constraints they gave you, the value of n and t will not exceed how much? 50. 50 is really small number, first things first. If you take it like that, the value of this, the length of this array will not exceed 50, which means that you don't have to iterate to this array more than 50, 50 elements. Don't need to iterate to more than 50 elements for this one because the maximum length of the array is 50. Similarly, the number of times you have iterated through will also be less than 50, which if you look at it equates to 50 into 50 times is 2500 times. So, in the worst case scenario, your code doesn't have to exceed 2500 computations per test case. That's really small, considering that Python usually can execute up to 10 power 8 operations in 1 second. It's really small. So, you can just brute force this thing, and the explanation I gave you was the answer in that case. The explanation I gave, which was, you go through each and every iteration, you check for that array, and if, for example, I'll show it to you, I'll write it down because the question is simple, so you click on this video, so I have to explain something, otherwise, yeah. Given this boy, girl, what you can do is, given this array, and if they give, for example, t is equals to 2, you have 2 for loops, or loops, two loops basically. And for each and every loop, you'll check it. You'll check iterate through each and every one of these. The thing you will be checking is you start from here and you'll go through here. The iteration will for the inner loop will only be from here, this point to this point. So for each and every one, you'll be checking whether there's a boy here and a girl here. And if that is the case, you'll replace it like this. Boy. Same for you. So the thing here is another code. This happens the second time. Let me explain it to you properly, completely. Girl, boy, and boy. So basically, same thing. You just iterate through the array. You have two loops. The first loop is for t, and as you go through the inner loop, you iterate through each and every one. And after this, you'll decrement t. So t is 2 here. T will become 1. Here t will become 0. This is the final array. You will return this thing. Now one small thing in the code, the actual code explanation, which will get me the code explanation, which is so. See, the thing is, everything is good, but one thing you're supposed to remember is it's mostly suggestible to have while loops here. You can have for loop here in this case, but in this case you need to have while loop. I'll tell you why. Now, what you'll do is you'll write, okay, while I is less than length of the array. If you find that B and G, you can see in the code, but like if there is B and G positions, we can write in code such as array of I minus 1 is B and array of I is G. If you write it like that, but I just written like this for simplicity's. I have written it for simplicity's sake. Thus, if that is the case, then you will replace it with G and B, and I plus equals to 1. I will become 1. I will be incremented by 1 again, even though it's been incremented here, if nothing happens. This is because, say that there are two girls here. For example, if you take this boy, girl, girl. In one iteration, what will happen is, you'll see this and we'll make it like this, girl and boy. Now I incremented, the pointer was here, I incremented the pointer by this, which is in this case here, this is what it's pointing to. It's boy and girl again, it will be replaced again, which will get us to girl, girl and boy. Now you may think it's a good thing, right? T is equals to, no. This all should happen in t is equals to 1 unit of time. So the boy will give away his position to the girl in the first unit of time. This while loop, if it's t is equals to 2, it will go again and it will come there. Then that is the position where this is going to happen. This should not happen in this loop. It should happen